Some of the most ambitious games ever made on the internet are fan games. Most of the time, these games are made out of pure love for whatever franchise is being adapted. With most of these games having so much polish, love, and attention to detail, it's clear that the creators of most of these games, as I said earlier, are doing it out of pure love and nothing else. And of course, the good fan games get popular, but what happens if they get too popular to the point where the main company notices what's happening with their IP? Well, either one of two things can happen. One, they play it cool like Sega usually does, or two, someone's at the door. I'll be right back, guys. Hello, I'm recording a video, so make it fast. Red Angry Bird from the hit mobile game Angry Birds? What are you doing here? Sued? For what? I mean, all I do is just make videos about mobile games. How could I be getting sued? Oh, well, yeah, I guess I did take a little inspiration from them. But come on, that's literally just how I look. Fine. Well, the last time my baby mama took me to court, it didn't go too bad, so maybe it'll work out.
Order. Welcome to the case of Rovio and Red Angry Bird versus Bro016. That's such a stupid name.
What?
Rovio is accusing Mr. 16 of stealing their IP and using their brand to earn money for himself. How devious.
So we're just lying now.
So which one of you would like to make your point first? Very well. Rovio may now represent themselves.
Ahem, Your Honor. This bastard has been working with terrorist groups to harm this Rovio brand. He also has been stealing money from Rovio by harming RIP and using it to sell drugs to minors in Colombia.
What?
That is truly cruel. Mr. 16, how do you defend yourself?
That's literally not true. That's not even true. You know what? Screw this. What happens if I leave? Because I really just want to leave now.
If you leave now, you die.
Oh, like straight up? Damn, didn't even know the stakes were that high. And I don't even have a lawyer. Wait, I know who I can call.
Hello?
Hey, Sniper from the hit YouTube channel Mobile Games Network. Yo, what's good, bro?
Brazil, what's up, man?
Hey, man, listen, I'm kind of in a pickle right now and would really appreciate...
Pickle? That's funny.
What the fuck? No, I can still do this. Wasn't I just making a video about fan stuff? Your Honor, give me however long this video is, and I will defend my point.
Go on.
So do we just cut back to the video, or... that feels weird? Anyways, let's go back to what we're talking about. Fan game creations that were unfairly taken down and are technically illegal. So let's start off with the first one being... This is probably one of the most famous cases of a fan game being taken down by the company. Another Metroid 2 remake, or otherwise called AM2R, was a fan game remake of the Game Boy title Metroid 2 Return of Samus in a modern style with new graphics, smooth gameplay, and a fully reworked level design. It took over 10 years of development before releasing in 2016. Yeah, 10 years of development. That's a crazy long time for a fan game. They're obviously passionate about what they're making. But shortly after it launched, Nintendo, well, being Nintendo, issued a DMCA takedown, removing all downloadable links and shutting down the official distribution. Which does suck, because not only was it praised as being one of the best Metroid-style games ever made, but also, come on, 10 years just to take it down? Really, Nintendo? Now, they could just rework some of the designs using their own IP and re-release it, like another game we'll talk about soon, but even though Nintendo is technically in the legal right to do this, it still sucks that this is how they treat their passionate fanbase. Speaking of another childhood company that likes to treat their fanbase like shit, Bionicle is one of the Lego lines that you either grew up with and have fond memories of, or you didn't and you generally don't really care about it. I fall into the latter, but this story is still pretty interesting. You see, there was a highly anticipated Bionicle fan game called Bionicle Mask of Power, which was shut down by the LEGO Group in mid-2025, so pretty recently. It was made by an indie group called Team Kanoi for over 8 years. Wow, again, pretty long time. The game ended up being cancelled just months before a planned free demo release on Steam, and from what I could find, the main reason why LEGO decided to shut this down was because of the game being, well, too good. the high visual quality could be mistaken for an official product, even though the game was made to be played for free like all fan games should be. Until we get to something soon, then there wasn't really a reason for LEGO to shut down a passionate fan creation. But again, just like with Nintendo, technically they were in the legal right to do this if they wanted to. But there is a bittersweet ending. You see, following the cancellation, Team Kanohi rebranded as Unmasked Games, and they retooled the project to remove all LEGO IP and just reusing the engine to make an original game called Project Rustbound. So that's good, they didn't waste their 8 years of production. But yeah, still overall very sucky thing for LEGO to do. LEGO isn't as infamous as, let's say, Nintendo for taking down fan projects. Matter of fact, if it comes to fan sets, they usually encourage it, or at least encourage fans giving them ideas for sets. But when it comes to games and things that look official, then I guess that's when they strike down their hammer. Let's move on to... I'll be honest, I was one of those fluffies that grew up unironically enjoying this show. Still do to this day. So it's kind of weird that I actually have a reason to talk about it on this channel, but I'm here for it. MLP, Fighting is Magic. This was a fully animated fighting game based off, well, My Little Pony obviously. It featured hand-drawn character sprites, a full fighting system inspired by games like Street Fighter, and each pony having unique moves and animations. Like, be honest, look at this and you can't say that the quality doesn't look good. It damn near looks official. It even gained attention in the fighting game community, being shown off at fighting game events and whatnot. But of course, as we learned from the last segment, if a game looks too good to the point where it could be mistaken as being official, then the main company is gonna notice. And in 2013, Hasbro issued a cease and desist order, forcing the developers to stop using the MLP IP. MLP IP. That's pretty fun to say. The project was then shut down in its original form, but instead of disappearing like with the last game, it was rebuilt into an original game with original characters called Them's Fighting Herds, replacing the characters entirely while keeping the core gameplay. What's interesting about this is that when it came to designing the new characters, the creator of MLP, I don't have her name in the script so I'll put it up here, actually helped out with designing the new characters. So yeah, that's honestly pretty sweet. If I had a nickel for every time my entertainment franchise solely designed to sell toys had a fan game that was taken down but then reworked to something original, I'd have 2 nickels. Which isn't a lot, but strange that it happened. Now, I'ma be real, I'm kinda cheating with this one, since it's not really banned, you could still play it to this day, but most of the backlash for this game actually came from the fans themselves. This game already has a shit ton of controversy that most people in the Sonic community are well aware about, and if you want to know about it, I highly recommend this video, or really any video from a good Sonic YouTuber who actually knows what they're talking about. But what I'm gonna focus on is the monetization controversy. You see, most companies, including Sega, do allow fan games to be made, as long as one thing is clear: the game isn't making money. Now, Sonic Omens was free, as all fan games should be, but the creators of the game had a Patreon that they would promote all over the game's website. Basically, it felt like the creators were urging players to donate for the game. They weren't, but that's just how it felt like for many people. It was to the point where people genuinely started to worry about the future of Sonic fan games. I mean, if Sega saw this and noticed that people could make money off of fan games, they may start to have a more harsher take on how they deal with fan games in the future, which obviously sucks, especially in a fan base as Sonic, where some of the fan games genuinely do feel better than the official ones. If you're in the Sonic community, you know exactly what I mean. You can't really be a Sonic fan unless you play at least one Sonic fan game. That's how good most of them are. Let's end off the video with probably the most famous case of this happening, Pokemon Uranium. This fan-made PC game was in development for almost 9 years, so it wasn't just a small mod. It had brand new regions, over 150 original Pokemon, online trading and battling, and more features. So when it finally released in 2016, it exploded in popularity, reaching over 1.5 million downloads in a very short time. But shortly after, things changed fast. Of course, Nintendo saw what was happening and issued a takedown to the websites hosting the game, and the developers quickly removed any official download links. So the creators weren't directly sued, but Nintendo definitely made one thing clear, that continuing the distribution of this game wasn't worth the risk, especially when you're going against the Big N. And just like that, one of the biggest fan Pokemon games ever made disappeared from any official access. So why does this happen? Well, at the end of the day, these companies do have the right to take down any fan games that they want to. Hell, not even just fan games, any fan creations in general, like even YouTube channels, can be taken down too. Especially if a fan game looks too professional, then people might think it's official, and yeah, I could kind of see why companies wouldn't like it to be out there. But just because they can legally, that doesn't mean they should morally. Again, a company like Sega is praised for allowing fan games to exist, maybe because they know that the fans make the games better than they do, but my point still stands. Fan creations are most times just made out of love for the original IP. It sucks that the companies don't realize this, but maybe one day in a future world, we'll get to that point. If it's not making something overly offensive about the brand that could ruin the reputation of said brand, or if it's not making money, then fans should always be allowed to create. And that, Your Honor, was my defense. Huh. Should have known that using a YouTube video in court wasn't a good idea.